Hey everybody, so let's take a look at how we're going to set the table to get ready for analysis. And I say set the table because this is sort of like we're opening our file. We have a large data set, it's a few thousand rows. And what we want to do is get our environment situated to get ready to do some of the deeper analysis. So there are a few steps I want you to run through. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to have your main data sheet open, and I want you to make a copy of this data sheet. What we want to do is preserve our original copy and then work in a duplicate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to my tab. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say move or copy. I'm going to check create a copy and I'll put it right before this sheet. You can put it anywhere in the workbook. It really doesn't matter where. This is your own preference. I'm going to click OK. If you notice, I now have an exact duplicate. I've just basically copied my tab. And now you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call this my data, and I'm just distinguishing it from the original downloaded data because what I'm going to start to do now is come in and we're going to do things like add columns, we're going to add some new analytics, and we're going to do work. And I basically want to have a backup. Okay, so that's really all we're doing here. Now, if I go into my data tab, I now want to get my spreadsheet oriented in such a way that I'm comfortable navigating the spreadsheet, looking at the various field names, being able to go up and down, left and right, and essentially be comfortable. This is sort of like getting into a car for the first time and adjusting the rear view mirror, making sure the seat is comfortable. The first thing I want to do is I want to know my field names. So I'm going to highlight my entire first row, and I'm going to come up here and do wrap text. Okay. I'm also going to bold them. I want to be able to easily eyeball my field names. And as you can see, we do have to scroll right to left to see all of our data. This is not uncommon. Same thing with up and down. Now, as you can see, as we do this, scroll to the left or the right or up and down, we lose sight of whatever's on the leftmost or whatever's on the top of the spreadsheet. And it's important that we always be able to see two things. Number one, we always want to see this top row. And that's because this top row describes our data, and we don't want to lose sight of that. So we want to be able to use the freeze function in Excel. But in addition to seeing the top row, we also are going to want to have an eye at all times on some of this key data off to the left. Now let's remember what this data set is. This is data that's showing sales of property in Jersey City from October 1st, 2022 through September 30th, 2023. So we have a seller and a buyer, and there's a property in between those two parties. And in this data set, the grantor is the seller, the grantee is the buyer, and the property location is the property. So I'm going to tell you right now, the most important thing for us right now is this property location column. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll over so that that's more to the left of my view. Then I'm going to put my cursor in cell I2, and I'm going to now go and I'm going to freeze my panes. And I'm going to just click freeze panes. Now, what this has done is this is basically frozen everything to the left of column I and everything above row 2. I want to highlight the columns that I'm most interested in, that I'm going to work with the most. And Excel has this super handy feature of being able to paint the cells a certain color. So I'm going to highlight all of column H and make this yellow. And I'm going to tell you that I'm going to have videos coming up that also deal with property class and the NU code over here. It's important not to overlook getting this view in place so that we can work efficiently within our Excel environment.